Greatest nation on earth. I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America.
16 years after Barack Obama and 8 years after Hillary Clinton, history is once again made at the Democratic National Convention. Tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris became the first woman of color to formally accept a major party's nomination for president.
And the celebration is just wrapping up in Chicago. Harris's quick ascent to the top of the ticket has re-energized the Democratic Party. 5 on Your Side political editor Mark Maxwell joins us now live from the United Center, where the vice president just laid out her message to the American voters. Mark.
Mike and Kelly, good evening from Chicago. Tonight we saw Kamala Harris, the prosecutor, Kamala Harris, the politician, and Kamala Harris, the potential president, cross-stitching a coalition of voters across the country, a path she thinks can lead her to the White House as president, the first female president in our nation's history. She jumped right into general election mode. That was evident by the names and faces we saw sharing the stage with her. Police, veterans, victims of mass shootings, victims of human trafficking. Even Republicans joined her on stage tonight, flexing her appeal across party lines. And her rhetoric offered voters watching from home, maybe voters who were down on the deja vu of Joe Biden and Donald Trump in a rematch, she offered them a new way forward.
Our nation with this election has a precious, fleeting opportunity to move past the bitterness, cynicism, and divisive battles of the past, a chance to chart a new way forward. Not as members of any one party or faction, but as Americans.
Then she reprised her role as a prosecutor and laid out the case against Donald Trump, also wrapped abortion access in the packaging of personal freedom and choice, and tied the consequences of many of the strict abortion bans we've seen strictly and firmly around the neck of Donald Trump.
Stories of women miscarrying in a parking lot, developing sepsis, losing the ability to ever again have children, all because doctors are afraid they may go to jail for caring for their patients.
We also heard some big picture policy aims, like Harris pledging to pass the border bill that Trump and Republicans killed, the one that was a bipartisan border security bill there. Also, she called to bring an end to the violence in Israel and Gaza and bring all the hostages home. That's rhetoric we've already heard. Now it's on to the campaign trail and the first debate, where Kamala Harris will ask Americans to make her the first woman president in American history.
And Mark, we've heard the term convention bump. You've been covering politics a long time. How long does a convention bump usually last, and will this year be any different because of the unique circumstances?
Well, Kamala Harris had that initial bump right before she came in here, just the excitement and energy. We saw some evidence of that because she had more donors in the first 10 days of her campaign than Joe Biden had in the entire 15 months of his entire campaign. So she had that pre-convention bump. Tonight, Democrats are about to go home and continue the campaign, and it seems like she's picking up steam. Perhaps we'll see that in the polling in the days and weeks to come. But for now, we've got, 75 days to go until the election? A lot of time left for these two candidates to square off and make their cases to the American public. In Chicago, Mark Maxwell, 5 on Your Side.
And Mark will have a full wrap-up of the DNC on this week's edition of The Record. It airs Sunday night at 11, right after Sports Plus.